Hi, I'm Rachael Krug, and I'm here to talk to you today about action potential. In a nerve cell or neuron, in order for a signal to be received and carried throughout the neuron, action potential must occur. Action potential occurs in the membrane of the neuron. It also has 5 basic steps that allows the signal to be received and carried throughout. The first phase is the resting state, or resting membrane potential. This is when there are no stimulus to cause action potential. During this state, the activation gates on the sodium and potassium channels are closed. The second phase is depolarization. When a stimulus opens the activation gate on some sodium channels, sodium ions then flood through those channels and depolarize the cell. If this process reaches its threshold, it triggers an action potential. The third phase is the rising phase. During the rising phase, the activation gates on most sodium channels are open, while the potassium channel activation gates remain closed. Sodium influx makes the inside of the membrane positive with respect to the outside. The fourth phase is the falling phase. The inactivation gates on most sodium channels close, blocking sodium influx. The activation gates on most potassium channels open, permitting potassium efflux, which again makes the inside of the cell negative. The fifth phase is the undershoot. This is when both gates of the sodium channels are closed, but the activation gates on some potassium channels are still open. As these gates close on most potassium channels and the inactivation gates open on sodium channels, the membrane returns to its resting state. This is also known as the refractory period. It takes time for this cell to pull off this entire cycle. Therefore, during the resting phase, action potential cannot happen until the cell has reset itself. Neurons are excitable cells, and that's action potential. Thank you so much for listening.